from January all the way through to August, all we talked about were how the Cowboys reacted to getting boat raced out of the playoffs at home by the Packers. And last week's loss to New Orleans had the same markings, essentially. And how are the Cowboys spending their week rebounding with the Ravens, desperate at 0-2 coming in, Tom?
Mike McCarthy's really good at pushing the buttons with his team when they've had a poor performance. And you've seen that a number of times since he got to Dallas. You obviously saw it in Green Bay. Usually when they have that type of totally flat performance, they come out the following week and they play well. Obviously, you'd like to avoid the type of performance they had last week against the Saints. And I agree. That felt like the Packers game where you had a sense in the first quarter, like, this is bad and it's not going to get better for that team. Injury-wise, they've obviously had some big names pop up on the report this week. I was told, the moment that CD popped up with the ankle injury, this is not anything significant. I know Jerry Jones was on the radio like he is practically every day and said that he's not concerned with it. Trayvon Diggs also, same thing. Sounds like he's going to be okay for the game. So they're a little bit nicked up, but, overall they're healthy here. This is not Mike McCarthy's never been a just scream at the guys all week type of coach, but he is going to push them. He is going to challenge them as men to come out and put something better on tape. And you're going up against a Ravens team that, arguably has more on the line than you do. I mean, the Ravens, I don't believe have ever started 0-3. Not under John Harbaugh anyway. They've only started 0-2 a couple of times here. You're really putting yourself in a hole if you lose this game. For Dallas, you're not really in a hole in the division because, frankly, the whole division right now seems like it's got some issues here. But that would be a big win. They need that type of signature win coming off of the loss that they just had to the Saints. I fully expect, again, based on McCarthy's history, they're going to come out and play well.
Tom Pelissero here on the Rich Eisen Show. Any sense how the Chiefs are going to split up the carries with Isiah Pacheco out? Kareem Hunt is not playing. He's on the practice squad. They just signed him. So is this an NBC Sunday night debut of the Carson Steele show? I mean, what do we got, Tom?
We've already had a lot of Carson Steele here, Rich. Going back to the preseason, he was not just because of the hair, but because of how he played. We've seen a little bit of him. He had the fumble last week, but they put him right back into the game, which shows that they've got a level of trust that you don't often see in a guy who's an undrafted rookie coming out and joining the team. I would expect you to see a lot of Samaje Perine as well. He's a steady back. He's played a lot of football. He's good in pass protection. This is also, Rich, and I don't mean to be reductive about one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, but Andy Reid really doesn't want or need to run the ball a whole lot. It's always been the thing everybody said is, if he would pass the ball 70 times a game if he could. They might do that, not 70, but they might just throw the heck out of the ball this week against the Falcons here. Atlanta's got a veteran secondary. I would anticipate that they're going to challenge them. They've got so much speed around Patrick Mahomes. There's other ways. One way that you can make up for the run game, Rich, when you don't have it is you just get the ball onto the perimeter to your playmakers, and those are almost, the bubbles and the smoke screens. Those are almost like running type of plays. So I would anticipate that they cook up some things like that. Maybe you see some more of those reverses and the easy touches, the manufactured touches for guys like Xavier Worthy. I fully anticipate they're going to have a plan, and it's probably going to be a pretty fun one.
Quarterbacks in Chargers-Steelers. Tell me about Justin Herbert's ankle, and then, if you don't mind, transitioning yourself into the conversation about Justin Fields, Tom, and how Tomlin has been handling everything. I mean, let's start with the first order of business, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, going back to when he got banged up in the game, there was optimism that he was going to be okay, but they were looking at his foot, his ankle, his shin on the bench. The Chargers are calling it an ankle injury at this point. According to locals on the scene at practice today, he was heavily spatted up. He had a ton of tape on that ankle. He was working on the side while everybody else was out there on the field. But Justin Herbert is the type of veteran quarterback who may not need to practice in order to play. They're going to have to make some decisions, just like we've seen with other quarterbacks here, in terms of, do you want to roll him out this week, or do you want to give him, at a time you're 2-0 and you've mostly done it through the running game? Do you want to just give him a week and put Easton Stick out there? This one might be another one that really goes into Saturday and even Sunday before they make a final decision here. But certainly at this point, they have not ruled out Justin Herbert. And in terms of the Steelers, it's going to be Justin Fields again this week. You've heard Mike Tomlin repeatedly say, his participation is not to an extent that we need to consider it. And so hypotheticals are a waste of time. Those are Tomlinisms for we're going to keep, easing this guy back because we're playing winning football, and why put him on the field before he's 100%? I would say this, to the extent that some people are going to say, hey, Justin Fields may never give the job back. Why would they pull him out? That's true right now in the short term. But remember, they've also scored 31 points total over the first two games. They're not going up and down the field. I know they had some penalties that called things back last week, but this is not like a dominant offense. Absolutely, Justin Fields is playing the way that they wanted Russell Wilson to, which is protect the football, don't make the big mistakes, don't turn it over, rely on the ground game, rely on the defense. And that's going to be enough to get you by in a lot of cases here. But they also haven't had to play from behind. They haven't been in a situation where Justin Fields has to drop back and win a game with his arm. That, in my mind, leaves the door open here. I still believe we're probably going to see Russell Wilson at some point this season. As long as they're winning, there's reason to believe that they'll continue to roll with Justin Fields. But they do want to see that offense play better here. And so this is going to very much remain, it seems, a week-to-week type of situation.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.